for startup visa founders, immigration consultants, and lawyers that help them through their ever uncertain journey. You have received the work permit under startup visa, you're planning your trip to Canada, or you've already landed here. Congratulations, but I hate to break it to you, that's not the end of the story. You need to make measurable progress, and you need to take very careful and calculated steps to always be prepared for IRCC's update and questions. So in this video, I am going to share some practical tips with you that would first and foremost help with your business success chances, but also is going to keep you prepared for the eventual IRCC update that you're going to receive, and they're going to hit you with the question, what have you been up to? What progress have you made with your startup while you're waiting for a decision? So stay with me. My name is Saeed. I'm the founder and CEO of NextStars. We exist to support top-notch entrepreneurs that want to make global businesses using Canada as their launchpad. We connect entrepreneurs with resources and capital, and when it comes to startup visa, we are a full-fledged service company that supports startup founders from the very beginning of the journey to get the right letter of support from the reputable match designated entity, all the way for after letter of support while they're waiting for a decision from IRCC and beyond. Okay, welcome to Canada. The first thing that you need to do is you need to get your paperwork. You need to get your SIN number, basically open up your personal bank account. If you can create a commercial bank account for your startup as well, that would be fantastic. A lot of banks require all the directors to be present. So if your co-founders are also in Canada, or your co-founders are okay with you just being the sole director for a period of time until they also arrive in Canada, you can create your bank account for your startup. I think that would be a fantastic milestone for you, would enable you to start charging customers or connecting your point of sale to your bank account. That's great progress if you can make that happen. Definitely check in with your designated entity. It's common sense, but a lot of people I find that miss it. Email them, let them know that you're here, and see if they're open or willing to meet with you. I'm sure they would be. Or you can get a tour, of the facility. Sometimes the designated entities also give you, a desk or an office space for a period of time, which is also a great option to use. So you have to start kind of doing some of these housekeeping notes. And if you have kids, you have to find them a school. If you have a spouse or a dependent, you have to kind of figure out their situation and make sure you guys all have phones and, have a place, a roof above you with high-speed internet, and start really collecting data points, because you're going to create a log of your activities in Canada. Remember, I've said it time and time and again. We do not want to see a dot from a founder. We want to see a trend, a story that will lead to a successful business startup launch in Canada, and that's the story you want to sell to the officer. You've landed in Canada, you have your documents in. What is it that you need to do in the next, let's say, 3 months or 4 months? So the first and most important part, I think, in this phase is to validate some of the assumptions that you had about the Canadian market. What do I mean by that? You need to really attend some conferences, some relevant events, try to talk to Canadian customers, network like it's your job. You go into these conversations really with an open mind, and not to sell but to learn, to validate if you have identified the customer pain point correctly, if they're really price sensitive, if what do they think of an ideal solution, what are they using right now, and so they can create reports of each and every of these conversations. And ideally, you can secure some MOUs or letter of intents from potential partners and customers in this phase. Also, another very important factor is to find a network of trusted and startup savvy service providers. You're gonna need an accountant, for example. You're gonna need a lawyer, and there are many firms that have really pay as you go kind of affordable services that you can opt in to use. Also consider getting a Canadian address, maybe get a virtual office or a desk in a co-working space, and take it from there. So now you are established in Canada, have a sense of like early traction, early understanding of the market, but now it's really to get to close to a product market fit. And you're gonna also start driving some Canadian economy development. What do I mean by that? Consider hiring, a local developer or your business person, business salesperson, or even put yourself on a payroll. It's pretty simple. You can do that so long you have a bank account and you have your system set up properly. But keep your designated entity in the loop in every action that you're taking, and really use them to as a sounding board. You can kind of double check with them. Oh, I'm thinking of using this service provider. What do you think? Or I'm considering to make a hire. What are the do's and don'ts? How can I do this the most effective way? And one very important aspect for you to consider is, as a Canadian company, when you launch in Canada, you qualify for a wide range of government subsidies and grants and funds. So do check that for the province you're set up in, the industry that you operate in, and also there are some federal governments that subsidize or try to incentivize activities like research and development. For example, one very common and popular program is SR&ED or SR&ED. You have to track your R&D activities, and at the end of the year, there are consultants that can help you to claim those tax credits, and you will get basically money back in the account for the money you've spent on hires, salaries, contractors, so long you can show that the activities were related to your research and development. Obviously, I'm not an expert in this, but you can consult, with a SR&ED consultant, and they can even help you how to track your activities effectively so you can qualify easier and more smoothly. So we've covered pretty much all the activities, generic activities that you could do. But obviously, if you're a health tech or med tech startup, it could be a little bit different. You have regulatory that you have to look after. So commercialization pathway is very different for different startups. So definitely tailor these suggestions to your own industry and to your own situation. But another couple really generic, useful tips could be, you can consider building a board of advisors, like find some allies in the industry, some names that can add credibility to your startup. You can try to speak at meetups or relevant conferences, really try to build a thought leadership for yourself. And you can create posts for your LinkedIn as your Canadian journey kind of begins and continues. And you can kind of really demonstrate how this move has been empowering you to be able to do things for your business that you were not able to do otherwise, i.e. remotely or from your home country. Also, I always like, as a startup founder, you gotta look for capital. It's just natural. Although many startup visa clients that we deal with, they are self-funded, and it's totally fine. But I think, a startup always has to look for money, because money brings money, and also money brings credibility. Money opens doors. Often people that give you money, they have connections that if you align yourself with them and with your interest with their interests, then there's going to be a lot of benefits to that. So always I tell my clients to consider, you know, uh, starting to raise funding, prepare a data room, or start reaching out to investors, go to pitch competitions, and just as much as possible put yourself out there. Nobody's going to judge you. Everybody's going to support you. Well, not everyone's going to give you money, or not everyone's going to cheer you up, but it's the name of the game. You got to try, and you got to continue believing in your mission, and your passion will drive you towards success. In closing, well, Canada gives opportunity, gives funding, gives good talent, a very robust infrastructure for startup building, but there's no guarantee. Obviously, you have to build a business that's worth staying for, and you want to be very lean with every dollar that you have in your bank account. So the most important element, that your KPI that you have to watch for, is your runway. So you got to be able to extend that as much as possible, and try to use the subsidies, supports, or free supports, freemiums of every possible perks that you can access to in different accelerators, service providers, so on and so forth. So with that, I wish you best of luck. Give us a like or follow. It doesn't cost you anything, but it certainly makes us feel happy and worthwhile. Share this with your fellow entrepreneurs. It goes a long way. And if you also find this content useful, follow us at NextStars on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Instagram. That's NextStars. And check us out at www.nextstars.io. Until the next one.